What's up, guys? Our wrestling podcast back at you with another episode. This is Dave Vicious along with Jess the Total Package, Craig the British Bulldog, and Cuz, bringing you our perspective on the world of professional wrestling. No inside sources, no ties to the industry, just stories from the diehards, sharing opinions with you. Can someone please feed me today's topic?
Today, Dave, we're going to crown the King of Hearts.
I kind of hate you right now. For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, Soundcloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcast, or watch our videos on YouTube at our wrestling channel. On social media, give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019 or at Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Jess, do you really want to know why?
Why?
Know why I hate you right
I would
now?
love to know.
Brings back memories.
Because you made me watch this week. That's why.
Dave? Dave?
What?
How much do you weigh?
For the inside joke, I couldn't help it. I was getting so irritated with this.
And I chose this for that reason. And it's also June. It's King of the Ring season. And even though King of the Ring doesn't really happen on an annual basis anymore, they'll dust it off whenever they want to try to spike ratings on Raw. King of the Ring used to be a pay-per-view, an annual pay-per-view. And there's a lot of likes. This is the second ever one, by the way. 93 was the first pay-per-view. This is the 1994 installment, number 2.
Yeah, so there you go. Baltimore Arena. The King of the Ring theme song kicks in quite well.
Where are we again?
Where are we? I don't know where we are.
Baltimore.
We're in Baltimore. Yeah, we'll get there. June 14th, we had some unexpected guests in the beginning before we even see where we are. Double J, Owen Hart, Bam Bam, and IRS are all playing with the King of the Ring tournament board, going, I'm going to win. No, I'm going to win. And I'm like, okay, this is dumb.
I think there was a Coliseum video clip. And also too,
so we get
on
the
the
King of the
other
Ring theme song, and we get to Baltimore Radio. We have 12,000 in attendance and 185,000 buy rate. We have
That's awful.
We have Gorilla Monsoon along with Macho Man Randy Savage doing the announce work, and Art Donovan. How much does he weigh?
So, but before we get to that, on the other side in WC to the W, in June of 1994. The World Heavyweight Champion was Ric Flair, WCW World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. The WCW International World Champion was Sting. And then the WCW United States Champion was Stunning Steve Austin. The WCW TV Champion was Larry Zbyszko. And the WCW Tag Team Champions were Cactus Jack and Kevin Sullivan. After this pay-per-view, 4 days later, they held a Clash of the Champions, which was a big turning point for WCW. It would be the first time that Hulk Hogan made his WCW appearance coming into the end. Larry Zbyszko would lose the television championship 4 days later from this pay-per-view to Steven Regal. And Sting and Flair would wrestle to unify the International Championship and the WCW World Championship, with Ric Flair winning and unifying both those belts, basically setting up the Hogan and Flair pay-per-view that would happen at Bash of the Beach a month later. So that's the state that WCW is in. They were just about ready to welcome Hulkamania and take that.
You could say that times were changing. Craig. Exactly.
So we had a dark match. I think Bob Holly took on Quang the Ninja, and nobody cares about that. It was a dark match. Who cares?
But what we do get is a great national anthem sang by the lead singer of Blackfoot. It was very well done. Jess agrees with me.
His name is Ricky Medlock, and I put "Why" as a national anthem on a B pay-per-view. They're acting.
I'm not trying to be a dick. Had anyone ever heard of Blackfoot before?
No. I know he was in Leonard Skinner for a little bit.
God. Okay. Match number 1. Bam Bam Bigelow versus Razor Ramon in the first tournament match.
It was a quarterfinal match here. 8 minutes, 24 seconds. My notesies. Razor Ramon got the pin with a kind of a cool bump from the top rope. Bigelow went up for his moonsault, and Ramon came from behind him and did a schoolboy roll-up on Bigelow from the top rope. So it was a pretty harsh bump there. He gets the pin. I put solid match, grade C+. Because it wasn't wonderful. It wasn't like an opening match. There was a lot of wear done holds. Bigelow dominated like 80% of it. C+. It's not terrible. It was fine. It advanced Ramon to the next round.
Which they want. I gave it I forgot we were doing grades on this, so I'm going to try to alter my stuff a little bit. But I would say B-. He said. Yeah. That's what I'd say.
I give it a B-. If this was the kind of the opener that they needed to get off their ass. Like on paper, it should have been fantastic, but it wasn't. And I think it's at this point we probably should, because a lot of my notes have to do with Art Donovan. And this is the pay-per-view that.
So real quick though, for those people who don't know, Art Donovan was the a linebacker for the Colts mainly. He was with like 3 different teams.
Yeah. The Baltimore Colts. So it's his hometown.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yes. So he was a local celebrity and an NFL legit Hall of Famer. He has since passed away. He passed away in 2013. So can I go back to the beginning when they welcomed us to the pay-per-view and Gorilla Monsoon fucked his name up? When they welcomed everyone in, he's like, "Hello everyone, I'm Gorilla Monsoon, Lord Macho Man Randy Savage, and Art O'Donnell." And
Hall of Famer, Art O'Donnell.
And like he just forgot Donovan, and just stopped, and he called him Art O'Donnell. That started the tone off for the commentary team for this night. To his defense, rest in peace, he was not smartened up, it didn't seem like, and he was not educated at all
kind of throwing out
on the product.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna get Craig. I'm sure you have a couple quotes here from this match, even. But God darn it!
Well, my only question, just before and to piggyback off you, Jess, is I want to know the situation in which he was introduced. Did he help sell tickets in Baltimore? He's a legend, yes, but unless he had some form of way to sell tickets and sell this arena and sell this pay-per-view, I don't understand why you put this man on commentary.
Stand to watch it. What's the girl over there screaming at? What's he gonna do? Throw him out of the ring? Yeah, I thought the poor guy was done.
I'm just the only thing because my note was Gorilla said, "Art, do you remember last year when Bam Bam went all the way to the finals?" And immediately I was like, that dude does not remember what he had for lunch that day.
He doesn't know what anybody weighs. Why would he know what happened last year?
It was the beginning of the end.
Oh, what does he weigh?
Right off the bat. Like, do not ask him. But no, I want. I said this before the podcast kind of started, but Razor disappointed me on this pay-per-view, and this should have been fire. Bam Bam and Razor, and I'll give it a B-, especially as an opener.
I'll give it a C just because of the talent involved, and it wasn't that great of a hot opening match. And Art Donovan, he even says like halfway, at the beginning, he said, "Oh, this is the guy that I'm picking to win," and then Macho Man says something like, "Oh, like because when he started losing, he's, oh man, that's the guy you bet on to win," and he's like, "I hope not. I don't have any money." Like. He said stuff like that, but to his credit too, I kind of like that they had it where it was like almost like if you had like someone that was introduced to wrestling from a friend that's been into wrestling their whole life. Like he was saying things like almost like putting it over in a sense too, like, wow, these guys are doing better clotheslines than in the NFL. Because even Macho Man actually was like, I appreciate that, thank you. Like, like there was times where like he was actually like, oh, this is real. Like, oh man, these guys are tough. So he was putting it over, but yeah, I mean,
so far starting out so good, Art. Great job.
I made a 10
minutes later
because that's how disappointed I was going back to watch this. You could tell
nothing could go wrong,
especially since we talked about it after or before we started the show about Razor Ramon, being in a pissed off mood probably because he wasn't going to win the thing. I expected, you would expect by the two names that this is going to be a great opener, and it wasn't. And yeah, I felt that even with Razor Ramon, like I just didn't feel the fire there. I didn't feel anything that would make it a hot opening, and it wasn't a hot opening. So a C, I give it a C. So that's why I joked. That's why I joked about the next match being better.
Yeah, we have a we have a brief standoff.
Hey, these guys were.
We have a brief standoff with IRS and Mabel. They're facing off in the back, which is totally lame because they both can't carry the mic work whatsoever.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And then have you guys ever
Hey, Mabel's a real bad guy, right?
Have you ever taken notes late at night when you've had a few and you're kind of like, I'm trying to make out why I wrote this, but I wrote IRS versus Mabel. That's a lot of glitter. I'm not sure why I wrote that.
Wow.
on Mabel's outfit.
Sweats.
Maybe
I think it might have been, but I'm like, why did I write?
Everybody knows there was no glitter on IRS, just tons of sweat. He sweat all the time, and then he wore full clothes, which were like wet and soggy, and like, Jesus.
And I do have the comment of how much does that guy weigh in here.
Yeah. So the next match is it's the next quarterfinal match. Mabel versus IRS, 5 minutes and 34 seconds. I put, oh my God, the classic Art started here. Is that guy one of the wrestlers? Which he asked about IRS coming out to the ring. And then he also asked that about Mabel's manager, Oscar, who was in an all-white suit.
Yeah.
And he was like, why who's that guy? And like Macho was like, he's the manager. Oh, it looks like he's here to take these guys to the hospital.
Yeah.
Like he was
He did
just
say
fucking
that.
great.
That's
Yeah, it was
right.
fucking awesome.
It started.
His quote to Mabel was, "Is he gonna wrestle with all those clothes on?"
But see, that gives you perspective of someone who doesn't watch wrestling and they see stuff like that.
He looks like a businessman. How much does that guy weigh?
500 pounds plus, Art.
Well, that's not fair. The other fella only weighs half the amount.
Like that. Call him IRS, call him whatever, but have him in wrestling.
So Art
attire.
Donovan might
Come
be
on.
the catapult to the Attitude Era because they probably like wrote his comments down and they're like, we have to just fucking analyze all this. He didn't like people who wore full clothes.
Yeah,
we need a guy.
He's an absolute
We need a guy who
genius.
drinks beer who can associate with the crowd.
To be fair,
We need a guy who talks about himself in the third person. Thank you, Art.
To be
Fucking
fair, though,
thank you.
you know what? Actually, they may have been ahead of their time. The first UFC pay per view, you had guys in like cut off sleeve shirts and gym pants and sweats and everything. So hey, maybe
So,
Vince was
IRS
I did not
gets
come
the-
into this podcast thinking Cuz was going to defend Art Donovan. I am shocked, and I don't know.
I hate when they
but
have wrestlers in full
seriously
clothing like that. When it's like
This
So
is-
IRS
wear or
gets
whatever.
IRS gets the pin with the shitty cover. Like,
yeah, and a hill
IRS goes to pin him. So Mabel just falls backwards off the ropes because IRS shakes the ropes. Whatever. That's a stupid ending anyway. But when IRS lays on him to pin him, he literally has to get all the way off him to grab the rope to cheat to grab the rope.
And that was
so
a horrible
IRS was
cheat.
not laying on Mabel,
No.
and Mabel was acting like IRS was holding
Yeah,
his
like he
shoulders
was
down.
holding- yeah.
It was the most awful thing I've ever
Which,
seen.
hey, Mabel's a
Like-
pro.
What'd you grade it, bro? What'd you grade it?
Mabel's
And the
a pro.
match pairing was horrible, by the way, because IRS is not a bumpy heel. IRS
Oh
is a
my
technical
God.
wrestler.
Yes.
So if you're going to put some Mabel in there with someone, he's got a bump for Mabel everywhere because Mabel's 450 pounds. So like this was a bad. Mabel also almost killed him on the Bossman Slam. He almost killed IRS. I
Yeah,
thought he was going
you're
to
right.
die.
Yeah.
Monsoon called Mabel a beached whale at one point in this.
I did not hear that.
Yeah,
That's right.
Kez mentioned it. I think on the text earlier. Cuz mentioned on the
I
text
did.
earlier that he called him a beached whale. I gave
It was
it a
fucking
D
great.
minus. It was fucking trash.
That's
Go ahead,
That's
Dave.
where I have it. I was thinking D minus. That's exactly where I was too. What do you guys got?
C plus.
I got a D. And a
D
D.
and D plus.
No,
Yeah.
I said C plus. I was just
Oh,
fucking
C
around.
plus.
Wait,
You're just
C plus?
messing
No,
All right,
no,
can we
no.
cut his mic?
No, I give. I give it.
We now have
give it
have a C plus and a
No,
I
I'm
love
just
Art
messing.
Donovan. From
No, I
Cuz.
give it D minus.
Yeah. So
I
the
did
next
bad.
segment that we have, you said D minus.
Yeah, D minus.
Yeah.
The next segment is a Coliseum home video clip of Jim Cornette, Yoko, and Crush in the
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Nobody cares.
Along with Fuji.
Was Cornette
And then
pissed that the camera crew was late, or was he just like kayfabing
He was just
there?
Cornette. He was just Cornette trying to be
Just being
shitty.
Like,
Cornette.
hey,
Yeah, he's
get
being
in
Cornette.
I bet like
Uh,
they were late. Like I bet they waited 5 minutes.
Thanks
or
for
something.
coming.
Fucking
Right.
Yoko spitting the gum at the cameraman was fucking great too.
The
Yoko almost
next
laughed.
match is a quarterfinal match. It's Owen Hart versus Tatanka. 8 minutes and 18 seconds. Owen gets the pin with a sweet roll up. Art Donovan quote of this match is, "How much does this guy weigh?"
Tatanka.
Which I think he asked. I'm sure he asked that about Mabel. I just missed it.
He did.
He
He
did.
did. Both IRS.
It
and
was
Mabel.
a solid. This was a solid match. I give it a solid B, because I love Owen. And Tatanka's a little underrated.
He is.
Owen had to
I'd
slow
say
down.
so.
Owen had
Tatanka's
to
a good
slow down
worker.
a little bit for Tatanka here, but it was a good match. This was a very good match. It was average. I could have easily gave it a C plus, but I think a B is fine. It was a solid B to me.
No,
Go ahead, Craig.
following those two matches, and I'm going to jump in just because I don't like David. I gave it a B
Agreed,
plus.
I agree.
I gave it a B plus. Like coming off those two matches,
Yeah,
like I was impressed. I liked Tatanka. I believe is completely underrated. I like the pacing of it. Yeah, for as short as it was, I gave it a B plus.
Yeah, as a skin of the teeth kind of win, and I gave it a B plus as well. B to B plus for sure.
How much does he weigh? How much does he weigh, Tatanka? I tell you, I think these two guys will make some great linebackers. What do you think? These guys need a helmet with a face mask. Gorilla, is Tatanka getting any
Cousin.
I give
plus
it
sounds-
a B because it was a good match, and
Yeah.
when you compare it to the last two matches, anything at this point, anything would have fucking been a great match. So
Yeah.
Next segment is Todd Pettengill, interviews Shawn Michaels and Diesel. Nobody cares. In
What?
preparation
Shawn Michaels,
for
peak cocaine era
Don't
for
take
Shawn
this one.
Michaels.
Yeah.
he could
and
not like
Diesel.
keep his
Diesel
like
is
his-
Intercontinental Champion here, and he was getting ready. He was talking about his match with Bret Hart later tonight. Then we go to another quarterfinal match. Jeff Jarrett took on the 1-2-3 Kid. 4 minutes and 39 seconds. The 1-2-3 Kid
This-
was so good.
he
Like
was.
in general. Like, he was so good. People don't talk about him enough. He gets the pin here on Jeff Jarrett, which was kind of shocking when I was a kid, because they were pushing Jeff Jarrett hard, and 1-3 Kid to get the pin here was crazy. These two meshed together really well. I thought it was a solid match, except for Jeff Jarrett's fist drops from the top rope. I fucking hate them. They're awful.
Yeah, why do those?
They did.
But
He stutter steps, right? He stutter steps, then goes to his knees and then fist drops.
Yes.
Like twice in this match.
He's very protective of the person, but it's a Memphis fist drop. I hate the Memphis fist drop, except for Jerry Lawler. He does it slow and it looks fine.
Yeah, Lawler's.
But other than that, like, also Jeff Jarrett is underrated too. They both work together well. It was a solid match. Jeff Jarrett never gets enough credit for how good he was. 3 pile drivers after the match was kind of cool. Jeff Jarrett got pissed that he got pinned, so he pile drove him 3 times and dropped 3 fists from the middle rope.
Yeah, he destroyed him.
Grade B- overall. I thought it was a good, solid match. Not as good as Owen Hart or Tonka, but I thought it was good.
He must have been down in the islands somewhere, huh? I don't think that poor guy can win that 1, 2, 3. He's gonna get murdered. This guy Double J's a cutie.
Let's take a look at the final 4 right now.
Surely 3 refs can like stop him from fist dropping. Like,
but I think now you see more and more when nobody comes out. It's more believable now.
Yeah,
they don't do that anymore.
The next segment is Todd Pettengill working overtime here on this pay-per-view. He interviews Bret Hart, the reigning WWF champion, about his match later tonight with Diesel. And the next match was that match.
Well, you before you do that, you got the old versus new segment.
Oh, the promo, the next generation, new generation promo.
Total knock, bro.
Total shot at Hogan, buddy.
Yeah,
rightfully so.
Knock.
Yeah.
No, because the promo mentioned it showed Mabel, Jeff Jarrett, Owen, and Razor, and then all 4 of those guys led the company for the next 15 years. So I don't know what you guys are complaining about.
The next match is for the WWF Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, here's a barn burner.
The reigning world champion Bret Hart took on Diesel, who is also the IC champion here at this time. 22 minutes, 51 seconds.
Oh my God, was it that
Bret
long?
brought a surprise to the ring because Shawn Michaels accompanied Diesel. They were a team here, like in a little buddies. Bret Hart brought a surprise to the ring to counter Michaels, and it was Jim Neidhart, which was kind of cool back in the day because we hadn't seen the Hart Foundation together since 1991. Yes. Art Donovan's quote of the match to me was, "Who's that guy? Is he a wrestler?" And he was referring to Shawn Michaels.
Good. I'm glad Shawn Michaels was so pissed.
It's great.
He said that about
this was not their best match, but Bret deserves major credit for being an actual world champion here and carrying Diesel to a passable match. Diesel was so green here, so it makes sense that he became world champion 5 months later. And yes, I'm being sarcastic.
Diesel's the reigning Intercontinental Champion, 7 foot of him. He is, and if he slams that jackknife on you, as we saw on the King's Court, I don't know whether the Hitman can survive that or not.
Did he play football also?
I think Diesel can do what he wants.
I'm with you on that. What's the grade?
The DQ ending kind of sucked. It hurt the overall grade. I probably would have graded it higher. I gave it a B- because I really like Bret's work in here. I know Dave, you're going to be counter, but I think Bret slowed him down on purpose in this match, and he did. At the time, I was not a Bret Hart fan. I did not like Bret Hart as world champion.
You didn't realize
back here.
What he was capable of.
I will admit fully now, as 44-year-old Jess, looking back, I should have given Bret a lot more credit for the ring work that he did. A lot of stuff that Bret does is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's a thankless job, right? Anybody who is world champion immediately after the Hogan era, you're just not going to get the credit you deserve. It's like Larry Holmes being heavyweight boxing champion after Ali decided to retire.
It's
like
big of you to admit that, because I remember you saying things about Bret back when.
I used to hate Bret. I said
never made any
things
money. It's ridiculous.
Well, he didn't. He didn't. I will back that up. But the business was down. But the business was down at the time too. So thinking about it more with the business head and 44-year-old Jess, like I was more harsh on Bret than I needed to be. When I go back and look now, I will fully admit that I was wrong. And like Bret was a really good world champion. Part of the job that Flair did when he was NWA champion was he would go to all these territories and take these C+ faces that just were over in the local territory, like Junkyard Dog. And I'm not shitting on JYD, but it's just the way it was. And Flair had to go there and make them look like $1 million and make people want to see a return match with them. They would come so close to winning the world title, but Flair was such a good heel.
And that's why they carried the title.
Yeah, Bret here carried, he had Diesel, a 7 foot, 320 pound awkward green wrestler.
Formerly
and he
known
had
as
to,
Oz.
Yeah, he had to take him to a world title match here. So
And Vinny
B
Vegas.
minus. I don't ramble on. I think it was fine. Go ahead, Dave. Shit on my grade, but that's fine.
What you said, B minus?
Yeah, B minus.
I put it in the C category because I don't blame Brett at all. That's not really his fault. There's a lot of things going on here. I hate DQ matches and title matches. I do. I think that gets to be an agreement later on in the future of wrestling. We don't do that.
But can I real quick? Can I ask you? What maybe you're going to pick up what I'm putting down here, but I'm going to test you.
Sure.
What do you think they should have done instead then of the DQ?
I think there's a number of things that could have been done that could have been better. I had said earlier it should have been a final match or something of that nature, and to keep them on and keep them going over, and just put Brett over, or you put in a situation, maybe I don't even like a stoppage. I don't like that either. What do you think?
The correct answer, Dave, and I'm quoting Conrad Thompson, is not book it at all.
Not book it at all.
Because you have the Intercontinental Champion who you're protecting, Diesel. He kind of shocked everybody by beating Ramon like a month before for the IC title.
So
why put him? In other words, if you can't have Brett successfully defend his title or Diesel successfully defend his title to keep his aura of invincibility going, why put him in there at all with Brett? Like,
I picked that up. I thought about this in my notes, and I said, why is this not like a WrestleMania match that was built up? This would have been really good for that.
Yeah.
No, I think it moved it all along because it was Neidhart turning on Brett, so he left. Diesel wins by DQ, so it elevates Diesel, and
it
Brett
did move
doesn't
the
lose
story.
any heat from not losing the title and moving him to Owen's story.
But
so it actually kind of all made sense. I get your point about DQ.
It does make sense in the story.
But it was
I agree with you.
I just feel that if
bad.
the King of the Ring finals is not going to go on in the main event of the King of the Ring, then the world title match should go on in the main event of the King of the Ring.
I mean, this is
however,
discussion
the year before it was that formula. Hogan lost to Yoko in the middle of the card, and they did that on purpose because a heel was winning, so they didn't want to leave on a bad note. And then Brett wins the tournament, but he still got attacked by Jerry Lawler at the end. So it was like ending on that.
But here's the other thing about it too. I noted this earlier with you guys. I felt that Diesel was because of his greenhorn kind of mentality. He was not even laying it in with Brett at first. I mean, you could even argue that his patented leg, to the neck, he's taking it easy. And somewhere along that, I think Brett tells him like, dude, you better lay this in. We need to sell this. You're fucking up right now. And he finally gets real with it later on, and you can see him really laying it in and doing the work.
Maybe Jason Sensation has like a lot of sway in the back, but I give this match a C, and it's disrespectful to Brett and Diesel. I never really was a huge fan of Diesel. C. That's all I got.
Give it another solid B. I just enjoyed. I enjoyed it. Once again, when you watch the first two matches that we watched on the card, and then you see it slowly progress with each match because of the talent involved, it getting better. But I've always enjoyed Bret Hart's moveset. I love his moveset. I love his Russian leg sweep. He does that so smooth and it flows so good.
Oh my god!
And then he does
the chest to the turnbuckle. Right.
He does the elbow off the second rope after he does the
after
Russian leg
sweep. I enjoyed the work that they were putting on in the ring, honestly, and
kind of laid that.
And I forgot to mention too. It was either during the Owen Hart and Tatanka match or the Jarrett and 1-2-3 Kid. They did a really good job of, it's easy to kind of shit on 1994 because it was a transitional year, but they were doing, forget the match quality of each individual match. They did a really good job of pitching that the tournament was important.
Yes.
Because they showed IRS and Ramon fighting in the back, like with each other during one of the other matches, because they were the next round. And we're going to get into that match right now.
Yep.
And I really appreciated the fact that even the commentators, not Art, but Razor, Macho Man and Gorilla were all about like people are just everyone in this tournament just chomping at the bit to get out there, and like they really did a great job this night about making the King of Ring tournament important. And I'm really glad Razor Ramon versus IRS 5 minutes and 13 seconds. This was a very slow paced match, nothing special. Razor advances via pinfall, C-. This was boring. What was your
that is what's missing?
What was your Grady Poo?
I put it in the C category. Yeah.
Craig?
I give it a C-. The pacing was off. It was only 5 minutes, and half of it was wear down holds. Again, I think it leads.
It was IRS with a sweaty chin lock.
You didn't like the tie slam? You guys didn't like that? You didn't appreciate that?
It was Razor and IRS should have like tore it up and blown the roof off again, just like Bam Bam. Like, and I think it goes back. I never thought about it.
Like IRS is like, this is my last match of the night, and Razor's like, I'm not going to win. So
but Jess said it perfectly. It's like Razor was pissed and ornery and salty because he wasn't going to win. I never really thought about that. Like, I thought it was a drug problem.
You can see it on his face, especially on this match, and when he comes out for the finals, he doesn't even play to the crowd. He does not give a shit. Like,
he doesn't care. It was not good. Screw you, Razor. It should have been awesome. Like, you could have made this pay-per-view.
Guys, what do you think?
D+. It wasn't even long enough. Like, it was just, I just didn't care for it too much. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Is there another segment, Dave? Because I can't wait.
There's a couple here. This is where we cut to Bret Hart looking for Jim Neidhart.
That's right.
Jim, where are you, Jim? And
let's kick open a bathroom door because Neidhart's hiding in the bathroom.
And then
he was hoping that he would be taking a shit.
And then because nobody needs to see that, hear it or smell it. Todd Pettengill, we cut to him, and he's got the tournament board, and he's like, "I am so sorry, guys. I expected the 1, 2, 3 kid to be here, and he is just not here."
So they were playing up the hole because he got pile drove 3 times, and the dreaded Memphis fist drop from the middle rope.
Yeah, we don't know where he is.
Yeah, they didn't know if the 1, 2, 3 kid was going to show up for this next match.
Oh, that's good.
So
that's good.
The next match is another semifinal match. It was the 1, 2, 3 kid versus Owen Hart. Only 3 minutes and 37 seconds. But
are you serious? That's all it is?
Yeah, bear with me on this one. For wrestlers who complain that they only get 5 minutes with entrances, it's not enough time. And this is a big shut the fuck up sandwich for you. Like, how do you watch this match and not fucking go, "Oh, we suck. These guys are great." Of course, I wish it was longer, but holy shit, they were fucking awesome. Owen wins via sharpshooter. Yep. The kick through the apron through the ring ropes when Kid was walking down was fucking crazy. Yeah. Everything.
They barely caught that, by the way.
And the move after that, like when Owen overshot Kid and almost like took like over the top rope on the concrete himself. Like
this match is it to me, like if you are bitching about only got 5 minutes, like fucking watch this match. How did these guys do this? If you're so fucking good and you want to whine and you're obviously complaining because you think you're good, then go back and watch this match and tell me why the fuck you can't do what they did. This match was under 5 minutes, even with their, well, I can't say with their entrances because 1, 2, 3 kid, they did the drama where they didn't know he was going to come out and he comes out.
From curtain to curtain when he came out.
Yeah. And Macho Man's
like, and it worked, by the way. Like, I was invested in that. It worked.
Dude, these guys, Jesus Christ, in this short time, A-. And the only reason why I give it an A- is because it should have been longer because I wanted to see more. I'm sure they had better. I'm sure they faced each other on Raw and they had a better match. But
this is where I had the most.
This match was great. It was fucking great.
It was.
I think it's great that I put the most notes into the shortest match.
It's fucking phenomenal.
This is the match I was most glued into.
Yeah, so Kid comes out and he's hurt bad. So the storyline's already fire. We don't know anything. Oh man, Owen's gonna mow over this guy, and then Owen even takes advantage of, as Jess said, through the ropes before the bell rings. And I had to take this note. Owen takes that front turnbuckle hit as good or better than Bret does. Where he gets thrown into it from the chest. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The ghetto blaster that Kid put on his neck was absolute fire. Oh my god! I think slap.
That was
you
awesome.
Didn't need a leg slap for that one. You heard it in the entire arena. They are putting in serious work here. The power bomb by Owen. Oh my god! I thought he killed him.
Yeah, they ended it.
And then because obviously that 1, 2, 3's Kid's not only his head's hurt but his legs are hurt. The sharpshooter is what does 1, 2, 3 Kid, and I gave it an A. I think it's a solid A. I loved it.
It's great. I can't say enough about it. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. So there you go.
Go ahead, Craig.
What do you guys got?
Yeah, I give it a B+. Because I don't think I can give anything on this card an A.
Mute him.
But
that's a good point.
But this is as good as it got. And yeah, exactly to Jess's point. Right? Like, you get 5 minutes, I don't care. Like, the drama of Kid coming out, even though Kid was not a great actor at this point, he always was bad at acting, but it didn't matter. Like, I believed it, and he was so young and vulnerable and skinny and green at this time. Like, and I thought it ended quicker in my head when I was.
Cuz, what do you think?
Well, I think perfect example here. I'm glad actually you brought up the fact that of wrestlers today complaining like, oh, I only get 5 minutes or I don't get enough time. And everything here,
who complains about it? By the way, where have you guys heard that people complain about 5 minutes?
No, people. It's just all over the place.
It's
Like when
all over.
people, and maybe it's a lot of like critics. When they see a match at WrestleMania, they're like, "Well, these guys only got 6 minutes with entrances, so they didn't have a lot of time." I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well,
and another match that I always
so maybe
cite,
it's more the critic than the wrestler complaining.
Well, that
about it.
could
could
be.
be.
It's the wrestler's job to make that critic not think that when it's a short amount of time, though. That's the thing
Fair.
too with the younger
That's
wrestlers.
the Saturday night's main event before WrestleMania 5. DiBiase took on, ironically, the Blue Blazer, who was Owen Hart,
5 minutes.
and they had another 5-minute great match. And I know they can edit this.
Every 5-minute match that we say go back and watch always involves Owen Hart. There's another one.
Well,
I
that's
want
the
to say
difference
was
between
perfect, I believe,
then
as
and now.
well.
They're fucking. He's great, and like, maybe you're right, Dave. But some wrestlers were complaining. They just bitch when they don't have time. Well, what do you want me to do? You only gave me 6 minutes with entrances. Well, I want you to watch this tape first of all, and shut the fuck up and go out there and do it. Like that's what I want you to do. Like that's what I want you to do.
You know what? Maybe that plays into Vince's. As much as we want to say Vince is out of touch, but maybe that plays into his decision making sometimes. Oh, why doesn't such and such get pushed? Well, I'm giving him all these 5-minute matches on Raw, but I'm not seeing anything like Owen.
Yeah, they can't. They don't do anything.
I'm not seeing anything like Owen and 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah, he was wackadoodle.
It was fucking
for sure.
There was 8
The next
people
match
around
is
there.
for the WWF Tag Team titles.
I
The
forgot about
champions, the
this,
Head Shrinkers, if you can remember that. They took on Crush and Yokozuna, 9 minutes 16 seconds.
How much does this guy win?
The Kid versus Owen match was under 4.
He did.
The Kid versus Owen match was under 4 minutes. Yet this was almost 10. Why?
No, it's horrible.
Actually,
this match
Jess,
was
it's
ending was so
time to
crap.
repeat. Jess, what is,
Luger wrestled,
what does
Crush
look like when he's
wrestled in slow
wrestling?
motion, and Luger was feuding with Crush here. So Luger comes down to distract Crush, and this ending gets all convoluted. And what the fuck was Luger wearing? I don't know. They tried to really push the Head Shrinkers as like a face tag team back here, but it never really worked. This match.
His legs as big as most people's bodies. Randy, I can't see. The guy's got the flag.
That's power with.
Look at the size. He'd take over a whole defensive line. Who's the fellow with the American flag?
He's
So
like,
we are-
but you know,
now we're in the
one's
finals of the
more
King of
one
the Ring
than the
tournament. The finals: Razor Ramon versus Owen Hart, 6 minutes 35 seconds. We talked about it earlier, but my notes were Razor had no fire in this match, or the whole evening for that matter. Maybe because he wasn't going to go over.
That's
Owen
average
tries
match,
to take his
nothing
knees
special,
out at some point,
unfortunately,
and Razor
because
doesn't
of
go
Ramon,
down.
and
Or no
Owen
sells
tried.
like
Ramon's a
taking the
bigger
knees
dude.
out.
He's like
His legs out.
285 pounds, so he's a different kind of person to work with. I like the Anvil joining Owen. That was kind of a cool little swerve there at the end. The main reason was just to get Owen over as king, and so I support it. But overall, I give the match a C+. It could have been way better, like I said about all of Ramon's matches this night.
The ref didn't see it. I saw it, but I don't understand it. I don't believe it. This, Jim the Anvil Neidhart has literally given this coveted King of the Ring crown to the Rocket Owen Hart. I don't believe it.
Night. Owen had a great match in his other 2 matches with Tatanka and with 1-2-3 Kid, but for some odd reason, the one of these things, not like the other, Razor Ramon coming with a shit attitude.
Razor shit all 3 matches.
Yeah.
So weird.
So, and I just put grade C+, but Owen is king, and that's the most important thing, and that was awesome.
You're good. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of things I'll just add to it. I always loved the ribs of Owen Hart, and I swear he did it again. I think he tried to deadweight Razor, and it pissed Razor off, and he still scooped him up and
He's
slammed
the
him 'cause that's
best,
how
man.
strong
He's always
Razor
the
was.
best.
Go back and look at it. I swear Owen tried to deadweight him. There's oh, he knows.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit like that. Like Owen just all Razor wanted to do. All Razor wanted to do was take wear on holds from heels this night because he was pissed off.
Yeah, because he was mad. So, and at the end of it, like you said, there's the major heel turn by the Anvil, who's joining Owen instead of Brett. That's what
Owen with the sick ass elbow. I forgot from the top rope. He did like a fucking elbow on Ramon to beat him. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome.
And,
the crowd popped.
And then Owen says, "I don't want that Tunney guy announcing me for anything. I want Anvil to announce me as the king, and you will now." Going forward,
what match was it when our Donovan was like, "Why is he putting the feet on the ropes?" And like,
fucking
leverage,
yeah,
you fucking old doddering
I'm
fool.
the king of
Leverage.
Hearts. I'm the best heart.
Wait a minute here. proclamation as king is to be from this day forward known as the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts. And I want you people to remember it with respect for the King of Hearts.
The main event of the evening, by title only, was Rowdy Piper returning here against Jerry Lawler. 12 minutes and 36 seconds.
It felt so much longer than that.
Oh my God, man! It should have been 40 minutes. Piper,
just gotta keep doing that radio.
I put Piper was in amazing shape here, literally the best shape of his entire career. Piper was here, legitly. But the match was absolute garbage. Like this match was so bad. 12 minutes, both were past their primes and had no business going over 5. Piper wins with an awful belly to back suplex, but it should have ended with the sleeper hold because that would have been appropriate.
Leverage, man.
This match was awful and put me to bed. Grade F. This match was shit. There's nothing.
Was he the king at one time? Jerry Lawler? I tell you, he should have been a preacher. He's missed his vocation. He's not very well liked, is he? Did you two guys enjoy doing this?
Oh, absolutely.
I can't imagine.
I guess so. This is a fucking F to the moon.
Yeah, I
match.
graded an F. I mean, what?
No. Lawler couldn't even take
Jason.
a fucking
He did a Piper
suplex
impersonation.
off
He was a
the fucking
skinny,
second rope.
like he was a fan or a comedian.
He
I don't
went
even
to
know
the
who he
side
was.
like he's going to protect himself.
And so they brought him in
off.
during King's Court leading up to this match where he pretended that he had Piper on, Lawler, and then out walks the skinny guy that's just in a kilt and a hot rod shirt. And he did a funny Roddy and Piper impersonation, better than us.
He's like, I'm sorry.
So Piper comes out going, aha, like for no reason.
You're
Piper
about
comes
to get
the
a
ring with
rain
this
full of
guy
shit from us,
and just
Dave.
go like, now I got the guy who's making fun of me in my corner, like not
Makes
realizing
no
that
sense.
like, no, you shouldn't have the guy that Lawler hired to make fun of you a couple weeks ago in your corner. That makes no
I'm the
sense.
Anything, he should be in
superstar,
Lawler's
man.
corner
How
because
about
he's
they
part of the
live, man?
He's
Okay.
my friend now, man. You should have got him. And then Jay Sensational, there was a spot too where Lawler was trying to pin Piper with the pin, and he had his foot on the ropes for about 45 minutes,
yes.
and then Jason Sensation goes, he pushes his
then
legs
he
off.
finally does it after,
And like it was so
forever.
fucking bad. And even the ending was bad when he belly to back suplexed him, and the ref, I think, took a ref bump, right? And so the ref was counting so slow on the worst
But
belly
don't
to back
fucking
suplex I've
end
ever
the
seen.
pay-per-view
Like,
with making an attraction in the middle between like the semis or something. I'm sure it was like he forced his hand. It was like
when you think about the
I'm gonna last, right, be back, man, right, be back.
arena for the crowning ceremony.
Fuck
No, that's I believe that's why, because they knew they had to build up Owen's storyline. I'm not
fuck
trying to
you,
defend this at
Lawler.
all, by the way.
12
But
minutes.
to keep people in the seats to crown
But I
Owen
will
Hart
say,
as
like,
a heel.
when his music hits, the bagpipes and everything.
Toronto off for the back. The kids are fucking fun for me. Toronto.
I always give where credit where it's due, everybody. Like,
All right.
Wait, Dave,
Nah.
did you
Dude. Is he
Is
still
it- was
with
it an
us?
F from you? Is
Jason
everybody giving it an
Sensor,
F
is
here?
F.
Yeah,
we know?
it's a
Right,
big
Piper's still
FU.
trying to.
Is he still alive? Do we know?
Yeah, no, I appreciate all the fans that are here. That's what he always does at the end. He does the bow and he goes, "No, come on, this is all. I'm breaking character, man. I'm gonna be out of character for just a moment here and say thank you, man."
Come on, man. The pay-per-view overall, I give it a D.
Because would you like the pay-per-view or you know like
I give it a C
Because
because of the good
that's
matches.
fair.
You know, there were some good matches, but not a lot. But the main part I do like, I appreciate that at least the commentators are trying to push the importance of the King of the Ring tournament. And like I said, the few matches, the 1-2-3 Kid versus Owen Hart and Tatanka, 1-2-3 Kid and Jeff Jarrett. And I enjoyed the Bret Hart and Diesel match. So at least, there were still those matches there to make it somewhat enjoyable. So yeah, I got to give it a C.
David, what do you think overall of the pay-per-view?
I think he's
B+.
still got. Oh,
Oh, okay, good.
D+, and it should be higher because it's Owen, and we love Owen, and
it's worth it. The reason why I wanted to review it was for the comedy of the Art Donovan. This is Owen's. It really is his legit crowning. I know he literally is being crowned as king, but like he main evented SummerSlam '94 with Brett, and they had an excellent cage match where they were told, by the way, before no blood, by the way,
Dave.
And so they're like, okay, like, and they had to go out there and do a great cage match with those two, and I believe it was one of Dave Meltzer's few 5-star matches. Their cage match, by the way.
I'm adorable.
Yep.
Fair enough.
I'm with that.
Yeah.
For audio fans, give us a listen on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts, or watch our videos at Our Wrestling Channel. On YouTube at Our Wrestling Channel. On social media, give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter. No.
Yeah, cuz changed the YouTube to Our Wrestling Podcast.
We're still at Our Wrestling Podcast.
Which we should change back to channel now that we're having different shows on there.
That's true.
But anyway.
Thanks for the update.
No,
we're airing our dirty business.
Let me just stop here and I'll change it right now.
No, don't worry. Just keep it going.
No, it's fine. But you had to bring it up now. But no, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Next week, we're going to change it back to channel.
Don't worry about it, but I had to tell you in the middle of recording. But don't worry about it.
We tried this.
Oh, man.
On social media, give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.
It's not called Instagram anymore.
Have you got a drinking problem?
Yes. O.W.P 2019 or at Facebook at Our Wrestling Podcast. Cuz you suck. Jess, I hate you. Craig,
what?
still all the love in the world. Just saying.
That's fair.
This is the O.W.P signing off.
Two fucking idiots.
Good one. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.